Alright, today we've got a quick little video for you. This is the Weeylite RB9 from Viltrox. It's a little pocket-sized RGB LED. We're going to get this unboxed and take a quick look at what it has to offer. So, let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I'm Scott and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing for more no-nonsense tutorials and reviews. So like I said, we're going to keep this video as short as possible. These little pocket RGB LEDs are a dime a dozen, and for the most part, there are only a few key things that really make them significantly different. One is the price, another is how much control you have over everything, especially control over things like special effects and whatnot. And the third is, of course, the light quality output, and we will put some tests in here for that as well. But for now, let's just go ahead and get this unboxed. Alright, so right on top, you've got the light. First thoughts, it feels well made. This is, I believe they say, like aircraft grade aluminum or whatever. It's all metal. It does have that little bit of a frosting on the front there, but that's probably not enough to give you protection against that multiple shadow effect you get from these panel type LEDs. But I believe there is also a diffusion dome in here, so we'll check that out. On the back, you've got the little screen. We'll see that when we turn it on. The typical controls down the side, the on-off switch up top. This does have USB-C, and I believe this also works as a power bank, which is kind of a unique feature. It has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and this should last about 2 hours on full power, but you can also, I believe, like I said, use this as a power output for other devices like a smartphone, for example. You've got a 1/4 inch screw thread on the bottom as well as the side, so some mounting options there. Alright, so you've got a good sized little pouch here, a storage pouch, and it does, as you can see, have two sections. At first I thought it was sewed together by accident, but it's actually two separate sections, one larger section for the light itself and the other for the accessories, charging cable and whatnot. So that's kind of cool that they include a case that's actually thinking that far into the process, not just a minimum case. Down here you've got more accessories, and then under that all the paperwork and stuff. We'll toss that out of the way for now. Alright, so like I said, we've got this kind of diffusion dome here, and it's a decent quality it feels. It's not too rigid, not too soft, that it's just going to be flopping all over the place. Let's get this on here. You've got holes, of course, that line up with the USB-C port, for example, and the buttons and the power switch and all that, as well as the screw threads. So even with this on, you should still be able to use those screw threads. Okay, so once we've got it on there, it sits in there pretty well. There's not a whole lot of distance from the surface of the LED to the surface of the diffusion dome, but it should be fine. We'll see in terms of color temperature how it affects that, as well as how much output it cuts down when you put this on. We'll put those results up on screen now as I'm talking. You've got a USB cable here for charging. You have this mount here, which is actually pretty cool. It looks like a phone mount, and I'm sure it could be used as that too, but I'm pretty sure it's meant to be used for the light itself. And it has this little arm on the back, which kind of snaps into a couple different positions, different angles, and it has that 1/4 20 screw thread on the bottom there, so you can mount that on a little tripod or something. But then it also has this cold shoe up top, so you might be able to mount another light on top of that if you have more than one of these. So that's kind of cool. Then of course you do get this little typical cold shoe type mount if you want to put that on top of a camera or some other thing like this own accessory that comes with it that has a cold shoe mount. And then you've got a little mini tripod, and this also is very typical. Not bad in terms of quality. It's plastic, but you know, it's included. So you've got plenty of ways to mount this. You can combine these, for example, and use this, and then you've got another cold shoe mount. So there's options in here, and I like when they include all these different options. Let's get into the light. So first thing, when I turn it on, how long does it take to actually turn on? Not long at all. That's pretty good. So you may be able to see the screen here. Right at the moment, the battery's pretty low, so hopefully I can get through this review. But we're in CCT mode right now, and you can see M marks the mode button here. We go through HSL, RGBW, so you've got straight control in terms of RGB control there, which is cool. You've got your scene modes, and then back to CCT, so pretty straightforward. When you click the set button, you can jump back and forth between which parameter you are adjusting. In CCT mode, of course, that's percent, and you've got plus and minus buttons here. You can go in 1% increments all the way from 0 down to 100. And I like that holding down the button does go faster, so it makes those fast adjustments easier. Jump over to your color temperature, and we've got 100 K jumps here from, I believe it's 8,500 all the way down to 2,500. Yes. So you've got a pretty wide range there. Again, we'll throw up some tests at a few different points in that range. Let's jump into our HSL mode, and you've got, of course, using the set button again, jumping between the intensity, the hue in degrees, and the saturation, which is a little cube icon, but that's, there you go, up to 101 L, I guess, increments. Jumping back to the percent, the intensity, that's straightforward just as it was before. And again, we've got our color wheel there, basically the 360 degrees of RGB color. We can scroll through there. The color coming out looks pretty nice to me. Looks like a smooth transition as we go through here. It does cycle through, as you can see, after 360 degrees. So if you're all the way at one end and you want to go back to the other end, you don't have to go all the way down through. You can just cycle right around there. So that's your HSL control. In RGBW mode, again, you can jump through RGBW and Y with the set button. And let's go through to W for now. This is your white light. Y is your intensity, I believe. And then we'll jump over to R. You can dial in some red. As you dial it up more and more red, you can see that the red becomes basically more saturated, but still it's mixed with 53 on the white channel. So if you dial that back down, you should get a more saturated red. So you can mix these colors there, and that's basically how RGB mode works. Now jumping over to our special effects, we've got, I believe, 29 special effects. Let me change the scene so you don't have to deal with this strobing effect. Like I said, I believe we've got 29 different effects built into here, and some that are new that I haven't seen before, in name at least. I don't know how useful those will necessarily be, but I'll put a graphic on screen right now that shows all the different modes that should be in here. But what is important is that, yes, you can adjust intensity within each of these modes, and you can adjust the speed. So let's go through to something else here. Let me jump back down to the scene. Let's go to, all right, I think this is supposed to be fireworks. It looks like a firework, at least in the icon. A fireworks or a rocket, I don't know. It's on fast now, so let's jump over to the speed setting and go down to normal. And then go down to slow, so that does adjust the speed. There's no irregularity in the fireworks, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. This is lightning. Again, you can see there's not really much irregularity, which does give it that added level of realness when there is a little bit of irregularity or unpredictableness or variation to the pattern. Things like police car, again, you can adjust the speed, but there is only one pattern of police car. So for different countries that use different colors, or if you want to have like an ambulance, for example, or a fire truck instead of a police car, maybe some of those are a little bit limited. But again, I personally don't think that the special effects are the main thing you should focus on a light like this. The good side is that you can adjust the intensity and the speed at least a little bit. The bad side is that some of them may be more useful than others just because of, like I said, that irregularity, that spontaneity, that a little bit of realness that some lights do better than others. But there are a lot built into here. There are some new interesting ones. So if that's something that you're really into, then maybe that'll appeal to you. Just a couple things to quickly add here. You can hold down the mode button to jump into a kind of sub menu to turn on and off a few other functions like the power bank mode to update it, and also to set your lights group and channel. So there actually is a mobile app for both Android and iPhone, and it's really quite simple to use. As long as the Bluetooth on your phone is turned on, just open the app and it will connect. And you can choose from the different channels, from the different groups, and then control them with all of the control that you get on the light itself. There's no extra that you get from the app itself, of course, no extra functions, but it is a pretty simple and easy to use, and as far as I can tell, bug-free app. But generally speaking, this is pretty straightforward and it works pretty much as I expect it to. There's a bunch more in the market, but the thing that this has over the other ones, for example, is that it comes with a diffusion dome. It comes with the power bank function that you can actually use this to power or charge your phone, for example. And it is built very nicely for under $100. This is very good quality compared to that price in terms of physical quality, how much I would expect it to last you. The last bit of the puzzle is just those photometrics, the color accuracy, the CRI, the SSI, things like that. And again, at this point in the video, I will have already tested that and put them up on the screen. But if those are there, at least to the level that they claim, and at least to an average level among other LED lights like this, then I think that this is a pretty good value, and it's nice to have just another option on the market. So like I said, this wasn't meant to be a super in-depth review. I'm not going to bother showing you, ooh, look how creatively you can use it, because you've seen 1,000 videos like that so far for lights like this. But hopefully that could answer some of your questions if you saw something about this and were wondering about, you know, how it actually works or how it actually feels. And if you have any remaining questions, please do let me know down below. As always, I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But if you like this video or found it helpful, do consider giving it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.